Hi guys, I will talk about an important topic today because we are at the Summer Olympics stage of our existence from 2024 Paris. Very awaited event and very nice, and I think the only Olympics that were held 3 years after the previous ones, because the previous ones were held in 2021, not in 2022 because of the pandemics. Of course, you remember. And it was a special context back then because there was no attendance, as far as I remember. So now the Olympics are even more special, given a roughly gap of 8 years in which the supporters couldn't enjoy the sports. But what I would like to discuss is about David Popovic's performance, the Romanian swimmer. Even though I stated many times that I don't feel it's enough to support a sportsman just because he is from your country. I would want to say that I have some sympathy for David Popovici because David Popovici is looks to be a great guy in terms of how he express himself, how he's educated, apart from being a great swimmer. But he's a great swimmer, self-made. Of course, he had some quality, some talent from the beginning, but I've seen his declaration, his statements after the 100-meter freestyle final where he achieved bronze medal. So 2 medals in 3 days, 1 gold at 200 meters freestyle, Olympic champion, first Olympic champion for the Romanian swimming in the last 20 years, and the first male Olympic champion for the Romanian swimming discipline. So even though he was favorite at the 200 freestyle, he proved at the Olympics, of course, all swimmers which are in a final want to prove they're the best and want to get a medal, and also a gold medal, of course. So he won only 2 fractions of a second, which doesn't count because he won, and it was indeed the pinnacle of his career. He's 19, almost 20, and he made it as Olympic champion. After, he only swam third place, but only is between, let's say, brackets, because third place at the Olympics is a huge performance. In fact, considering the conditions of training from Romania, which is he pointed out after the competition, the second final, are horrible. I mean, there is no kind of infrastructure for sports, for proper sports, especially for Olympic sports. Well, it's a long debate because in Romania you don't have proper education, proper healthcare, proper infrastructure in any way. I mean, road, railway, airports, train stations, everything. So of course you don't have proper swimming pools. Of course you can find some in some cities, but in Bucharest he doesn't have the proper conditions to train because he's from Bucharest, and it's obvious he needs to have conditions here. So in these circumstances, though, he obtained 2 Olympic medals. I don't know if he will go for another Olympics. Kyle Chalmers, who finished second, 1 fraction of a second before David, has 26 years, and he was the Olympic champion of this discipline, 100-meter freestyle swimming, in 2016 in Rio de Janeiro. So we can have expectations for David Popovici to attend at least one more Summer Olympics, and hopefully he will have at least these results. So it's something it will be nice to see. Now, it was very strange that in the 100-meter final, the Pan, the Olympic champion, who broke by far the world record of that distance, won by 1 second, which for most specialists is something humanly impossible, but he did it. Now I'm curious to wait and see exactly what will happen in the next days, weeks, or even months, because I have some doubts myself, because not only he had 1 second in front of the Chalmers and Popovici and Nemeth from Hungary, but because they were very close, separated by each by 1 fraction of a second. But he finished 22nd at 200 meters. Let's not forget. So it's a huge gap. But anyway, going back to David Popovici, and without his the conditions from Romania, he was the third favorite before the competition at 100 meters, and indeed he delivered. But Norbert Nemeth, I think he is the name of the Hungarian swimmer, came very close to third place. Now, for those who don't know, Hungary has a very developed sports infrastructure, and for swimming mostly, because there is a swimming pool in Budapest that holds the world championships constantly. I mean, for every few years they are held there. So it's enormous investment there and enormous care for this component. So David Popovici winning in front of this guy, for example, taking the medal from this guy, is a huge performance. Let alone his win in front of Great Britain, UK, and also United States of America, because these are countries that have everything one Olympic sports Olympian needs. So this proves that serendipity can happen. David Popovici is not a product of Romania. Nobody should be proud of Popovici, because Romania actually didn't contribute much on his performance. Maybe, let's say, a couple of percentages in just by, let's say, by chance. But he is an absolute self-made champion, world champion, Olympic champion, and it's very pleasant to hear him speaking in Romanian, but also in English, which for a 20-year-old he has very good skills on both languages, and this comes also from the way in which he was bred by his parents. Now, the parents are his father said that his development was influenced by the lack of pressure from their side of him becoming a top sportsman. This can be true, but this can be true in an educated family that always has, let's say, a backup plan in case sports doesn't go through. Because, yeah, of course, sports is not, I mean, educated people, intellectuals, or prefer, to help their children go for the study component, because it's more efficient and it's more rewarding and more, let's say, in every way is better. So sports can be a very good link in the development of an individual, and this was what happened to David Popovici at the beginning. But it can prove out to pour out your qualities, and you can become a page in the history books of sports. So this is what happened with David Popovici. I'm glad for him. I would never say I'm proud of him, or I will never say I'm happy because I'm Romanian because of him, because I did nothing for him. Romania did almost nothing for him. So there is no link to associate his performance with any national thing. But his style, his behavior, the fact that he was maybe the only one who entered on the swimming pool almost naked, not with a bunch of clothes on him, which is ridiculous to go in a swimming pool like the other guys with jackets, with even clothes for cold weather, sneakers, and it doesn't make sense. I mean, if you are going to in a swimming pool, you just want to be dressed for a swimming pool, not to brag about your position back then. So this is maybe one thing that I liked about him. And the second, the way in which he talks in which he thinks. And in the end, yeah, it's pleasant to see a guy that stands, let's say, out of the conventional physics for a swimmer. He's muscular, of course, but he has something that propels him on the second half of the race, especially, or in the last half, like for the hot 200 meters. Unbelievable. He has a ending speed, formidable when ending speed, and this was shown in the 100 meters as well. Because when he turned at 50 meters, I think he was 7 or even 8. I don't know by heart, but this is how I see it. So yeah, and on top of this, my, let's say, affinity for David Popovici was that we didn't got any gold, any medal at swimming in the Olympics from 2004. When he was not even born, and we got the medals in 2000 and 2004. In that period, I've learned also to swim. Of course, my swimming is roughly basic. I mean, it's not a competitive swim by any means, but I know what swimming is about. I like it. It helped me develop also as a person and as physically speaking, and all these components merged. I think I can say it's one of the sportsmen I like to watch at not only at major events, but to comment at major events. So from my perspective, him being into finals was enough in terms of performance. Him winning 2 medals is outstanding, and it proves that somehow, somewhere, and sometimes you can overperform against all odds or against all conditions offered for you to develop. So David Popovici is a great example, and I think he's a man with a great future. Not speaking about practicing swimming, but speaking about his development as a human being. So yeah, if you liked him, you can see a lot of interviews with him on the internet. Some of them are in English, and I highly recommend you to go through them, to listen to him, because he's a smart young man. So yeah, these were my comments, and hopefully we will identify more sportsmen like David Popovici, not only for Romania necessarily, but for let's say for the spirits of the sports. So bye guys.